Oh, hi. Can you hear me? Nicholas? Can you hear me? Wait. That's the mute button. Um, it looks like I have some sound on the side. Is it not very loud? Okay, then I'll just keep this set up and edit the video later. I can also go get a mic if that makes it better. I mean, I'm streaming live right now if you can hear me. Okay. Oh, that's because I'm not talking. You can also go backwards in time and play some stuff I already said. Can you hear me? Hello? There's also about a delay of 10-ish seconds. Hi. From when I live stream to when you hear it. Um, yeah. So you'll hear me. No, you would have heard me talk a bit more. So let me know if the sound quality is all right. Okay, now there's 2 viewers. Who else is looking at this? I am talking now. It just takes 10 seconds for, or something like that. It might be less than 10 seconds. Okay, the sound quality is okay? But the delay will be consistent between my slides and my recording. It'll just take that 10 seconds to start up, I guess. Okay, sounds good. I'll just keep this live until you're ready for me. Okay, I can go get a mic. Give me like 1 minute. Okay, hello? Test. Is that better? Is it worse? There's a red light on the microphone, I think. Maybe? No, there's not. Oh, okay. Hi. Is that better or worse than the mic on my laptop? Hello? Okay, this is me on the microphone. Is that better or worse? It looks worse from what I can see of the sound quality on the side. Hi, can you hear me? Is this better or worse than the... Oh wow, that doesn't even look like it's working. Maybe if I turn the volume up? Does that work better? No, it doesn't. Okay, so this is the mic. Oh, that is better than my laptop? Okay, I'll keep the mic then. Do I still cut out? Okay, so my laptop is better. Okay. Okay, so that's from my laptop, which I think is better because my microphone's, yeah, it's this tiny hole. So I'm speaking right in front of it right now. Okay, hi, can everyone hear me? Okay, so my name is Margaret, and I'm a third year pharmacy student. And I'm doing the section about approaching and engaging people for May Measurement Month. So, first of all, some disclosure. I don't know what nursing students and med students get in terms of communication courses, and this section is meant to establish a baseline. So, if you feel this section isn't particularly helpful, you don't have to pay attention. It's only going to take about 10 minutes. So as far as the intention of approaching other people, we do want our volunteers to benefit from volunteering for this as much as the public benefits. So in terms of this, we mean to increase your comfort in engaging with strangers. So we want to give you a wide range of experiences so that you can draw upon them further in your practice. And this is a great setting to do it as it's a real life clinic. So regarding the health promotion aspect, as much as having the public having their blood pressure measured is one aspect of this clinic, we also do want to increase public knowledge and awareness of hypertension. So even if someone doesn't want their blood pressure measured today, they can still learn more about blood pressure through our flyers and through talking with us. And as much as we do want you to engage and approach the public, especially if there aren't a lot of people approaching the table, we only want you to do as much as you're comfortable with. So we recognize that going up and talking to someone about their health might be a new and scary experience for some of you. And there's a good mix of years and experiences here. So if you don't feel comfortable about going up and talking to someone, there are some tips at the end, but just know that this is an optional sort of extra thing on top of tabling for us. So as far as nonverbal communication goes, it's important to have good nonverbals as well as look at the person you're about to talk to and assess if you actually want to talk to them, because we want you to have as positive an experience as possible, and that includes maybe not talking to some people who just aren't receptive or are in the mood to talk to anyone. So as far as looking at who you want to talk to, you want to look at the person's face. So are they smiling? Are they frowning? Are they crying? You want to look at the location they're in. So for the purposes of approaching people to talk about hypertension, we would like you to stick to like public areas. So maybe cafeterias or like atriums. We prefer you don't go in a study room just because people do have classes in May. And some people might also be studying for remedials. Look at their activities. So are they having a happy casual chat with someone next to them, or are they frantically typing on a computer and they're hunched over? And finally, look at the context of where they are. So are they surrounded by bags so they're moving, or how full is their lunchbox? Like, did they just start eating so they won't want to talk for the next 20 minutes while they're finishing their lunch? So here are a couple examples of people who it might be best to not approach or approach later when they're less busy. So the first girl on the left, she's on her cell phone. So she's taking a call and she probably doesn't want to be interrupted during that call. Person in the middle, they don't look like they're having a good day. So maybe you can approach and talk to them, but they're probably not ready to talk about hypertension because they have something else preoccupying their mind. And finally, the person on the right, they're writing something down right now. So they're probably busy. You might be able to come back and they'll be less busy, but you probably don't want to interrupt whatever they're writing. So once you've picked the person you want to approach, what do you say? So remember, you're here to educate the public about hypertension, and you're also here to develop your own experiences with communication and approaching people. So I do a lot of yoga, and something we do in yoga is we set an intention, not a goal. And the difference being that a goal doesn't have so much a set endpoint, that because other people aren't necessarily going to follow along with your endpoint. For example, you might want to, instead of saying a goal would be I want to get 5 people to come back to the table. An intention would be, I want to increase people's trust in me through having a conversation with them. Or I want to approach a stranger and feel more comfortable when I wouldn't be before. And as far as getting the person to come back to the table, you need to kind of explain not only what you're doing, but why they would benefit from it. What I mean by that is that the benefit doesn't necessarily have to be just increasing their knowledge. Maybe they're curious about their blood pressure. Maybe they're waiting for someone and they got half an hour, so they could use a distraction or someone to talk to, something like that. And in order to figure out how it would benefit them, you want to ask open-ended questions. It doesn't necessarily have to start off with, hey, have you heard of May Measurement Month? That is a good question to start off with. But other things you could start off with, like, hey, how's it going? How are you doing today? And just ask people about their lives and try to kind of gather their history so you can relate it to some things either in our flyer or some things you've heard already in this presentation about May Measurement Month in order to bring them back to the table. Also, don't be too worried if it takes you like 10 or 20 minutes talking to someone. Because if there's anything I've learned from 3 years of bake sales, it's that people at a table draw additional people. So that one person that it took 20 minutes to commit to get back to the table to get their blood pressure measured, they might bring 3 more people to the table because people will come up and be like, hey, what's going on? Having said that, just remember that not everyone wants to come back to the table with you, and that's okay. Not every attempt will be successful. That's fine. Just remember, the worst thing that can happen is someone tells you no, they don't want to do it, and they walk away. And while perseverance is a virtue, it's also important to know when to give up and try again with someone else later. So again, in this section, I emphasize you don't need to keep talking if you're uncomfortable with someone, and you don't even need to start talking to someone if you feel uncomfortable. This engagement issue, while we do want you guys to do it, it's up to you guys whether or not you want to do it. So it's an option if you feel like it'll benefit the public and yourself, but if you feel you're too far away from your comfort zone or it makes you anxious or unsure, then you don't have to. And some final tips. So if the table's super, super, super dead, you can take a friend with you and you can work off each other. It might help to take someone who's more, if you're personally uncomfortable, it might help to take someone who's more comfortable so you can watch them talk, observe what they're doing, and get some ideas of what to say. Just a second to know when to give up. And so if at some point you see the conversation going south, you can just finish your point, thank the person for their time, and just leave and move on to the next person or go back to the table. You don't have to keep going if you don't feel like the conversation's really going anywhere or if it's making you uncomfortable. And finally, don't take rejection personally. Some people just aren't interested in knowing their blood pressure or knowing more about their health, and that's entirely their choice. And with that, that is the end of my section. Thank you all for listening, and let's move on to the next one. Okay.